18 months ago, because that's how my daughter is. So
she was fresh. She was brand new.
I don't think she was that fresh, but yeah,
she was pretty fresh. She was
pretty fresh. Yeah,
fresh enough that I was scared to hold her.
Before you got all big time on us, you had that nice little Facebook Marketplace couch there.
Yeah, right. We had like that was all professional now.
Well, yeah. I mean, I want to be professional. Most of the guests are over on the TV, on the television, which if you're watching the YouTube right now, yes, we do have ESPN on because it is Monday night and Monday Night Football on. I'm not going to miss Aaron Rodgers come out and tear his ACL again.
There we go.
So we have Jimmy and Ryan in studio from Drawback Outdoors. Welcome back to the studio, guys. It's changed a little bit, but go ahead, introduce yourself a little bit for the guys and gals, I guess. Some gals watch.
Do you want me to start? A couple gals?
Couple
what's
gals.
your ratio? 98%? What's up, guys? My name is Ryan O'Donnell, part of Drawback Outdoors. We started Drawback how long? 4 years?
2021.
2021, so almost 4 years ago now. We do a lot of whitetail. We got pretty heavy into waterfowl this year. Some fishing content, so all kinds of stuff.
The waterfowl's kind of taken over.
Well, introduce yourself first, brother.
Well, I'm Jimmy.
Jimmy, the creator.
That was right to it. Just I'm Jimmy.
I'm Jimmy. CEO, founder of Drawback Outdoors. Come on, don't be so humble.
Don't be so modest. Come
Modest
on,
mouse over here, dude.
Brag
Look
a
at
little.
him.
Yeah, you're so it's kind of funny. Like, so when we were in the studio last time, right? When I first saw you guys, it was mostly every time the camera was on, Ryan was in front of the camera, right?
Oh yeah.
And now it seems like this year, since you were on last time, like last couple months, I'd say, Jimmy has been now.
Dude, I make him get on the camera.
Good.
Like literally, we did a waterfowl hunt. Go watch our YouTube video. It's a good one. But we did a waterfowl hunt 2 weeks ago on opening day, and I did the interview in the start. Or I think we did you in the interview in the start, but at the end of it, we were doing another interview. I'm like, you get on the camera, dude. Like, I'm trying to break him out of his little turtle shell. He's getting there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I've seen it, especially on Instagram stories, on even on the videos on YouTube. Like, he's been getting in front of the camera, getting a little less shy. I feel like we're sitting perfect across from each other, too, because I'm always the one in front of the camera.
Oh,
and
okay.
you are?
Yeah.
And then Ethan
now we
is
switched
never
it up
on
to
camera.
Yeah.
I'm never on
Never
camera.
The guy's behind the camera, in front of the camera. That's why I was like, all right, Jimmy, you're doing this interview. He's like, yes, you are. Let's go.
Yeah.
You must.
And sometimes it's funny because I don't know. I talk for work, so I talk for a living, so I don't think about it. But sometimes we'll put Jimmy on camera and he'll start saying something. All right, cut that. I'm like, no, dude, that was fine. You're in your head. Like no one would have known anything was wrong there.
I'm like Billy Madison. Back to school.
And he's like, it's opening morning. Dude, we've got some outtakes that will forever live in my mind, just cracking up.
Man, you gotta put them out.
You got a blooper reel.
Someday we might have to make a DVD of Drawback outtakes, man. It's just us trying to speak and oh man. You would figure you wake up at 4 a.m. to go waterfowl hunting, and this guy is useless until he gets coffee in his system, dude. He's literally, ask him this morning. He forgot his wallet. He went to Dunkin'. Man, he forgot his wallet, and he calls me all freaking befuddled. It's just a shitty day. I didn't get my Dunkin'. I got there, I didn't get my wallet. So he finds his wallet and turns around and goes right back to get his frozen caramel and his sugar maple sandwich.
Oh my gosh,
dude, he was miserable. I'm like, and then he got his coffee. He's like, it's better. I'm like, but dude, in the mornings, this boy, if God forbid there's a Turkey Hill. Some Turkey Hills aren't even open at that early in the morning. Yep. Yeah. God forbid we don't hit a gas station, dude. Get a few snacks and a coffee in this boy. He's miserable.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Labor Day, opening day.
Yeah, nothing
we had 2 guys, or no, 2 guys show up.
What did I tell him? Dude, I said it once. I'm trying to only say it once.
Yep.
Take that mic to the face.
Put that thing in your hole.
We had 2 guys. All right.
Yeah, we might have to pull that away a little bit.
We had 2 guys show up late, so we didn't get to go to the gas station. So I was pretty upset about
Dude, we
that.
said 4:45, meet at my shop. And one guy didn't wake up, so he got a call and it woke him up, I guess. And then our other buddy stopped and got
a McGriddle.
A McGriddle before he came. So he was 2 minutes late.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's pacing around, 4:45 hits. He's like, okay, it's on video. He's like, okay, let's go. That's it. It's over. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, nope, they're late. Screw them. We're leaving them. I'm like, and waterfowl hunting's you need extra guys to get bigger limits. Right now it's 8 birds a guy.
8 birds,
early season's 8 birds, late season's 3 birds. So if those 2 guys don't come, you miss out on potentially 16 birds for your limit. So you want to give them as much leeway as you can. But we are early for everything, and we both can't stand people that
you were early today too, and Ethan, you beat Ethan here, one of the hosts of the podcast.
Yeah, no, Ethan,
it's not a good look, right?
I show up at the right time.
Ethan, you were on time. We just
they were just way early.
Dude, I'll tell Jimmy, be like, yeah, meet me at the shop at like 4:00. I pull in at like 3:45. He's already sitting in his truck. I'm like, well, we're early. That's good though.
So, before we get into whitetails, because this will release, I believe, the second week of the PA Open.
Okay.
Statewide Open.
Yeah, dude,
so
I'll be tagged out.
Yeah, exactly.
I sure hope so.
But
yeah, that's what I hope so.
So before we get into that, let's hit waterfowl, because you do hunt waterfowl primarily a lot now, right?
Now, yeah.
And you're going to. You want to talk about where you're going this season?
Yeah, Jimmy, go ahead.
We're heading up to North Dakota. We're gonna do a bunch of duck hunting for about 2 weeks, but
it's a heck of a trip.
Yeah, it's
like 30 hours of driving to get out there. Well, we weren't nervous, but I guess I am nervous now because one of the guys we're going out with is like, dude, it's cold. Like, you don't understand how cold it is. Like, Vaseline on your lips, like gear.
When are you going out?
November
2nd. Well, technically the 1st to the 14th.
Yeah,
but that includes driving days. So.
But they're saying like it's like 0 out there, and now I'm like looking at like I have warm gear, but not.
Yeah.
I get cold. Like, ask Jimmy, dude. If there's someone's cold, it's me first. Like, I am. I don't sweat.
Wigwam in 75.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a wigwam? Dude, it's like this sleeping bag that you. I don't want to say too much good stuff. We're not a sponsor of the pod, but
we don't have a sponsor. So
okay, so these wigwams are incredible, but you can get them at the outdoor show. I bought mine online, but you can get them at the outdoor show.
Is like, the one you can
it's like a sleeping bag. You literally,
that thing's fucking stupid.
It rolls up. No, watch your mouth.
You just got offended.
You roll it up and it goes on like a fanny pack, and then you get to where you're going. I've never worn it at a tree stand, but waterfowl hunting is great. You get in the blind.
It's probably for the best.
You unzip it. Yeah, dude. I'm already not great with heights. But you put this like you're like in a cocoon. You zip it up, dude. It is so hot. Like, it's one of the greatest things ever. But even that, I think, is not good enough. So now I'm starting to look at like buying some like the camo that starts with an S and
Sitka.
Yeah, well, I didn't know if we wanted to say that, but yeah,
we don't have a sponsor. You can say whatever you want.
So I'm looking at
as you please.
I'm looking at Sitka gear because Jimmy became a Sitka guy this year. So I'm like, let me look at, dude. There's this jacket I want. It's called the Inferno. It's like $700.
Yeah, exactly.
It's I'm like, oh my god, dude, that's crazy. But they say it's the best. I don't know. I can't. Like, when in PA, we won't wear that. Like,
but I didn't have to pay for mine. So.
Yeah, Jimmy got his gifted to him, which...
That's so nice of that lady on TikTok.
Yeah, he got it off of his wish list. But unfortunately, I don't have one of those, so I'll be buying my own gear. But, dude, it's like, you look at that, like, to get the bibs and to get the jacket, you're $1,200 into it. And it's like...
ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's supposed to last a long time and it's like really good stuff, but holy heck! Like, and then for us to come back to hunt PA when I'll never wear any of that gear again, it's like,
what if they have renting?
Dude, that's an incredible idea.
Rent a
camo, like
tux
maybe
is for a wedding.
Yes,
you're gonna wear this tux once every 5 years, so we'll rent it to you. You're gonna wear this $1,400 outfit for.
I'm gonna say this fails.
I'm going to say you're wrong.
It's never returned.
All right, so he's out. Us three, we're in. Let's go.
Let's make it happen.
Investors, possibly you.
Okay, so it's Men's Warehouse, something like that. So let's do Camo Depot.
Camo Depot. Give me a day or two.
Okay.
I'll message you some top 5 that I've thought of. Just like real hitters.
Should we ask ChatGPT?
Yeah, ask ChatGPT.
Okay.
What's a good camo rental company?
Why we're doing that breakdown, like what, so that's a 30 plus hour drive out there.
34 hours,
yeah, so like
roughly.
You two are going to be a truck together. It's only going to be you two.
So we're going with my buddy Dustin.
Okay, good.
Who's he's down in Virginia.
Yeah,
and they've done that trip before. Like, so we're
like no guide.
Just go out there. And
okay, all right. So you have access. Is it public, private, or what's going on with that?
It's private. Yeah.
Okay.
We just basically door knock.
Okay.
Yeah, you go get permission, and that's the thing. Like, there's nobody that lives in North Dakota. Like, you look at North Dakota, it's like it's wide open out there. So it's not like when we think of getting access here, it's a totally different game. But yeah, it's a haul to get out there, and then it's going to be cold. But it's like the mecca, and waterfowl hunting is the most addicting thing. So when this trip came up, I'm like I really can't take 2 weeks off of work, but
I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm like I'm in, dude. Like I was on the fence a while, and like. Dustin, Jimmy's buddy's sending us pictures. Like, all right, like I'm in. I'll go.
Yeah. There's some birds that you can shoot there that we haven't shot here. Yeah, like We're gonna hopefully shoot like a pintail.
Be a hell of a taxidermy bill.
Widgeons.
Dude, because ducks are expensive to mount.
I would imagine, because, turkeys are expensive.
Yeah, ducks are like, for a little bird, you look at it, you're like, whoa. So,
it's probably because of size and the feathers, right?
Well, and it's a lot of work, like, so they like have to wash it and tumble it and then put it all back together, sew it up, then fluff it and pin all those feathers. I don't know the whole process of it, but I'm getting 2 done right now, a wood duck and a buffalo head.
He calls it buffalo.
It's
a buffalo head.
Yeah, that's
what he calls it.
A buffalo, but I call it a buffalo head. So I'm getting those 2 mounted right now, and you drop them off, you're like, okay, dude. It's almost like getting a deer mounted.
Yeah.
It's crazy how expensive it is.
The only way I would get another shoulder mount is if I get that one that I showed you before.
Oh, dude.
That's the only way I'm going to get another
body
mount.
That
it would be
right here in the middle of the
disrespectful
studio.
to not get a shoulder mount.
That would be a sick pedestal mount.
That would.
That buck would be
That would.
insane. And then you can get the podcast like on the back. You know how they like put flags on the back. You can do something cool with your logo back there.
Yeah.
That's a once in a lifetime buck. In Pennsylvania, I mean, I've never.
Well,
seen
by the time this comes out, I'll have him.
Yeah, he'll be. That's true. By the time this is out, you guys are listening. This is
Yeah, I'll be in Ohio in second week of October.
Exactly.
Get another buck down.
That opener, dude. That buck goes down.
I'm hoping.
If that buck goes down, you call us.
Once I have service, I will.
You're gonna have to give up your spot, and we're gonna come in and help you track that thing and drag
it. Dude, I've been thinking about that. Like, to give up a spot, like if I drop him, right?
Yeah.
You
like
give that spot
to give
up.
up a spot, it's like, do I give that spot up? But
no,
it's like
dude,
also
you give it to us. We're done with the public, so don't worry about it.
Well, it's also like, that buck is already down. There's not going to be another buck like that
right.
running around.
And it sounds
right
like
now.
you're far back.
Oh, what about those other ones?
Yeah, there's a couple of shooters. But do you hate talking about it because then you feel like more pressure? Like when I have a good buck on camera, it almost makes me more anxious that like now I know I can't shoot a decent buck that I probably would have shot. So that's in the back of your head. Like you'll pass on a shooter that you probably would have been happy with, but you see this guy, so that like dilutes your mind. And then also like you start talking about it, and like say you're not on the podcast, but say you're just showing like buddies, and then you do shoot something smaller, and they're like, and then say you shoot it like the second week, they're like, well, you still in 4 weeks. Like, what'd you shoot that for? And you're like, you know what I mean? So that's why like
couldn't help myself.
I mean, so this is the thing. Like I right now, like I do agree that it's
there's
like
a
kind
little
of
more pressure,
a little more pressure, but also I don't think I would pass any of those buck that walk by. To be honest with you, especially because I haven't shot anything with the bow yet. So it's like,
look, the way to think about it.
I'm not shooting a doe though. I have a doe tag back there. I'm not shooting a doe.
Really? Because you don't want to drag it out?
Yeah, not that far back.
Jimmy did that to me. Yeah, Jimmy did that to me. Well, that was my fault. I'm like, dude, it was like, I get this crazy itch right away. And he was.
I think did we talk about
We
this?
did. He's going to go down that rabbit hole again.
Dude, that's why I had to stop him.
He shot a deer 17 miles off of the road.
17 miles?
Basically.
2.5, but it felt like 17, dude. His brother brought us water. I'm like gagging, dragging this down. I need water, dude. It was bad.
Oh my god.
But yeah, don't kill a doe back there.
No.
Unless you'll quarter it out.
If I take in the retrograde or Rubicon, I think I would quarter out that because I can put it on the back.
That far, you might have to quarter your buck.
No, that thing's being
be a
drug out.
long
I
drive.
have a jet sled.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
put it on.
Yeah.
I'll get
us.
someone's e-bike.
Call us.
And I'll hook it on
we'll
the
take
back.
turns pulling it. We'll get it out of there.
Yep. So that's a buck that you no matter how far back you go, you drag it.
Because you got to get those good pictures, you know.
Oh yeah.
You
You gotta do it for the
Content,
gram.
yeah.
Do it for the gram.
Solo, B-roll, bring everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I just don't talk about any deer I have on camera.
Yeah, Ethan's got a 200-inch buck right now. He's like, yeah, nothing. Dry over here.
Dry over here. I got a couple doe
On
and
his
some
Tascos.
sons.
It's kind of funny. Like the second or third year, like I had cameras, I had a lease and everything like that. I was putting up more cameras, hoping to get more velvet buck on camera.
Yeah.
Only got one ever, like the first year and a half.
Really?
And Ethan would always get velvet buck, and now like I'm getting these massive velvet buck, and it's like I'm not so jealous anymore.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like? I've hunted public a couple years where I've gotten like early season, like summertime velvet bucks that are just in growth, and I get them consistently, and then like the shift's happening. Like I'd say it's happening right now.
Oh, yeah.
Where they start shifting to like their fall to winter ranges, and so like the property I'm hunting up in 5C, I'm almost like I'm not happy that I'm not getting a ton of big bucks on there. I'm like, it's fine, it's not their summer range.
Yeah.
They're gonna come. So I like, what do you think? Do you think that change patterns hard, or what are your thoughts on summer versus winter ranges?
So we actually have Steve Shirk on in a couple weeks, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah,
But
I'll have to listen to that one.
Yeah,
I'm
but
very interested.
Yeah, because They do shift quite a bit.
Sometimes hard, sometimes not at all. Like sometimes that deer keeps showing up.
Right.
And that's why I like 5C, because we get in the woods where there's still kind of patterns, so you can kind of beat that shift. It opens the 21st. But then sometimes, you know what I mean, those shooters are still there, but then sometimes it's like a light switch, and now new deer are showing up, and you're like, where'd all those other deer go? And like, there was a property we used to hunt on a farm that was like that. The summer deer were crazy. And then, I mean, it has to do with the crops going down and all the rotation, but still, like, they just disappear, and you're like, like when we used to hunt, I almost just said the state game lands, where we used to hunt on state game lands, it was like that, dude. A light switch would go off, and I don't know if it was pressure, because guys are now 2 weeks before the season, scouting, you can hang your stands, and so now they feel that, so they just leave. But, I mean, that spot, I've only saw one really big buck. The opening day of archery season, it came in front of me. I pulled back. It was too dark. I had to let down, and it ran away. And I hunted that spot the rest of the year. Never saw him. It was cool.
So you hunted that same spot? Like the same
I had like a couple spots within that same range.
This was in the very beginning of his archery career.
So, I
killed a nice buck on that field, though. Remember?
But it's a realistic thing with, like, when you see one buck, like, your mindset automatically,
like, this is it.
I have to go back to this spot every single day because he's going to walk by.
And I had a ladder stand there, so it was easy.
I don't think that. Not on public, though.
No, I first of all, I don't want to hunt a ladder stand in public anymore. I want to be able to move, because you go in there and some guy, like, 2 years ago, I was literally getting into my stand, in a ladder stand, and a guy was climbing up a tree, like, yelling at me. I'm like, I got a ladder stand here, buddy. Like, you're in I don't know what to tell you. So, like, now I don't think that's the move anymore. But, I mean, that's tough. We pulled my ladder stand off of public this year, and it's not going back out, because it's just, by the time you drag it in, I hunted out of those 22-foot primal, those big Mac Daddies. Great stands, like, super secure. It's like heavy duty. Yeah, that'd be a good one to get, because their gear's great, and but they're so heavy.
Yeah,
and like
they're really
to
heavy.
take it in and out, dude. It's like by the time we get in there with that thing, like Jimmy has to climb and strap it up. I'm like, thank God I'm down here, dude. Even to stand the thing up. Dude, we hung one this year on a private piece of property. Even getting it stood up, like, it's a heavy, thick stand. So like that's not meant to come down every year. Like that goes up and forget about it.
But the shift, like, I thought about that when I got him on camera, but I was having him on camera for a long time.
Yeah, you might be.
And now I have new bucks showing up on camera, like, when I checked it, but he's still there after they aren't there as often.
Do you have a mock scrape in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a mock. I have two regular scrapes. One primary, another primary.
As long as everybody keeps hitting it, he'll keep checking that out.
I'm going to keep hitting it every single night. I'm going to keep going there peeing.
Just start seeing rub. Yeah, just take a piss in it, dude. That's Jesus. We can debate that for 3.5 days.
Oh, God. I don't think it's 3.5 days. I think we all pretty much be on the same.
Jimmy just poops in his. That's what's been working for him for a couple years.
Must be something I eat.
So the rental companies, before we get too far.
Let's get some names.
So, Ethan, give me a clap. Okay, just in case I got to bleep these out, right? A long bleep over the whole thing.
Yes.
So we have Stealth Gear Rentals, Camo Cover Rentals, Hunt Shade Rentals, Wild Hide Outfitters, Camouflage Crew Rentals, with it actually pretty catchy.
I like Camouflage Crew Rentals.
Stealth Suit Rentals, Trail Blend Rentals, Camo Quest Gear, Shadow Cloak Rentals, Hunter's Blend Rentals.
So for the Camouflage Crew.
Say that again, Camouflage Crew.
Camouflage Crew Rentals.
How about you're too broke to afford this rentals? That'll get us much more people. Like, oh, you're too poor to afford Sitka. Here you go.
Too broke camouflage rentals.
It is seriously a great idea, because I'd pay, like, say it's $300 to rent that. It's worth $1,200. I'd pay $300 to rent it. I know I'm not wearing that again.
As long as it's like the inside is still, like, warm when you wear it.
So
like, I don't care what the outside looks like. You know, like,
I've rented some shitty tuxes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, as long as it's like, and you figure that's what a tux costs.
Yeah.
So like you pay $230 for a tux, you wear it for one night, and then they better return it the next day. Like, you'll get, you know what I mean? So, and think about how big of a company Men's Warehouse is. There's freaking Men's Warehouse everywhere.
Well, like, think about it. Like, okay, so like you say, you have all different brands. You don't have to have Sitka.
You have whatever
like,
you want.
Sitka, you have Osseo, you have
waders, boots, gloves.
Yep.
I mean, you could get into rifles. That might be a liability.
That would be a liability.
Yeah,
because then you have someone shooting someone.
How about hunting stands though? Like blind. You know, I'm just saying, man. We could do rent to own.
He's running with this so much.
Yeah, dude.
I think they already have rent to own.
We'll have our own credit card, like Cabela's. You know, just put it on the Cabela's card.
Just put it on the Camouflage Crew.
Put it on the Camo Crew card.
The Camo Crew. So you guys are going out to North Dakota for waterfowl. What else is planned? Because what I want to do is I want to dive into your last season. I want to break down last season, see what happened last season, even like what you learned, because I think that's a big one for even the people who listen, right? Like, and maybe you saying it, you'll be like, okay, maybe I should do this differently this year. Like, I think that's good for everyone. So let's start by what else do you have planned out of North Dakota this year? What other states or whitetails, elk, whatever?
So I actually hunted opening weekend in Maryland this year already. But I'm going to try to get back down there maybe once or twice this year.
Okay.
We're probably going to hunt New York for some waterfowl.
For sure, New York for water. Maybe even buck if we have. I guess it depends on how soon we tag out here.
It all depends because this North Dakota trip's taking up quite a bit of time.
Like the rut. We're missing rut this year. For the first time ever, we're not going to be in the woods.
Which, I mean, there's mixed feelings about that, right? Like rut, like if you don't have a target buck, that's a perfect time to be out. But if you have a target buck, he's going to be.
And I say this every year, and I usually I'm not the pickiest hunter, but I'm usually tagged out before rut. I haven't hunted archery for the rut for a long time, and I'm not shooting 140-inch deer. Like I'm satisfied still in my point of my hunting career where if it's 110 inches, I'm happy to shoot that buck and all European mounted, I'll be thrilled. So. I mean, to shoot the giants, I think you probably either get really lucky or you hunt through that rut. To shoot a true giant, we've got an opportunity to go do something awesome, make a movie out there. Like, it's going to be so much fun. Good buddies, like waterfowl's addicting, so we'll have so much fun. So I think it's worth it this year, but it's definitely changed our minds. If we tag out early, we could hunt upstate New York for whitetail. We'll definitely hunt that for waterfowl. Jimmy will definitely tag in Maryland this year, so that we'll be around hunting states.
Two smaller ones opening weekend.
I would have shot both of them. That's just putting it out there. Well, that one he showed you, for sure. The first one, probably not.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
But so that's main goals. We'll do.
I forgot I showed you guys already.
Yeah, we already saw. So we'll do.
Don't be fixing your mic.
We'll do.
That's one thing that's nice about these. I can just
push it, just put it in your mouth. We'll do bucks here, hopefully. We'll do waterfowl here. We'll do late season waterfowl here. We'll do waterfowl upstate New York. Jimmy will kill a nice buck in Maryland, and then maybe even we'll hunt New York too.
Okay.
So we'll
New
be
York
all
for
over.
a rifle? Or are you going to hit public for New York? Or are you just going to go private again? Are you guys primarily just private now?
Trying to get to that point, but
seek one.
No, come on, not like that.
You guys paying for stuff or what?
Speaking of speaking of what you learned last year, I can't afford Sitka. You think I'm gonna go to an outfitter? Are you kidding me? I can barely afford the shells to go to North Dakota. Speaking about what learned, biggest thing.
Wait. Aaron Rodgers just stepped on the field. If you guys are into football at all, this is big because Aaron Rodgers last year, he tore his ACL on the fourth play.
Yeah.
Third play, fourth play.
Yeah. So this is big.
After the biggest hype offseason ever, Jets have been bad for 57 years.
Dude.
Here you go. My wife is a huge Jets fan. Sorry.
Is she really?
Sorry, Decker family.
Wow.
Yeah, her dad, her whole family.
Where? Wait, Decker?
They're from Long Island.
Is she Eric Decker's daughter or what? Okay.
No relation to Eric Decker. That's a safe play, not
that's a safe play.
Throw it, right?
That's a safe play. You're gonna have Brees Hall run every single play.
Yeah, give it to him.
Yeah.
So back to what we were talking about New York and all that kind of private land, all that kind of stuff, and you don't have money for the outfitters.
Yeah, biggest thing I learned last year. You were talking about things you learned. There's definitely some things I would have done differently. I might have shot too early on my buck last year. There were bigger deer on the property, and I got antsy, and you just get so excited, right?
Yeah.
The first decent buck comes in front of you, and so it's not that I regret it, but I mean, I probably could have waited a little bit longer. But the biggest thing I learned, and I think Jimmy's going to say the same thing, is networking. Making friends that have properties, hunting together, building, especially for waterfowl. It's I heard something, I don't know, where did I hear that about if there's not a 150-inch deer on the property, you're not killing a 150-inch deer. I heard that on a podcast or something, but they say, I don't care how hard you hunt and how good of a hunter you are. If there's not a 150-inch deer on your property, you're not killing a 150-inch deer. And that sticks with me. It's like time is valuable, right? Kids, family, house, and it only gets your career. It only gets more and more valuable. So yes, I still like the thought of public land, and we've hunted a ton of public land. Our whole careers we've hunted public land. For the first time ever, we have access to some serious private land, and I just would be like a fool not to take it.
Absolutely.
So it's like if you can knock on doors, like go get permission. If you're not happy with where you're hunting,
it's easier.
Find a way to get a better spot. Like you'd be amazed. Like we found waterfowl spots, archery spots, just by asking somebody or like asking. I'm friends with the guy who owns our landlord, and he's a developer. So I talked to him. He's like, yeah, we're purchasing a quarry. You guys can hunt it. Like, just throw it out there sometimes because you're only as good as the spot you're hunting. So if you're hunting a public piece of land, and you can always go back further, but if there's 30 guys hunting there and they're smoking cigarettes and like we've seen it all on public land, you're just not going to be successful. You might be, but it's way harder and you're going to put way more time in. So the biggest thing I think I learned last year is networking. And if you're not happy with your spot, find a new one. Knock on some doors, man. Like I know we were going back and forth about Seek One earlier, but you can't knock the guy's hustle. He does knock on a lot of doors, and he shows that. Like, if we knocked on that many doors, I bet we'd have some slamming spots too. Like, he just knocks on more doors than me. He wants it more than I do. He's literally knocking on doors all the time. You don't know until you ask, and that's a lot of no's.
Because he has more time.
Right. Well, he quit his job, and now he's out doing this for a living. But like last year, I asked somebody up in 5C, and they slammed their door on me. Like they literally slammed the door in my face, and like, that's a no. Walked back to the car. I'm like,
let's go.
Okay, let's go. But like, that's gonna happen. You got to get over that fear, or you don't have to be the extrovert and go do that. You can hunt your public land. But if you network and get to know more people, and maybe you can offer someone a waterfowl spot, and they're offering you a hunting spot, or you guys can share hunting spots, or he's got a rifle spot and you've got a spot in town, and so you can go upstate and back here. It doesn't hurt to ask, and that's a huge deal because you're only as good as your property. Yeah. So if you can do it the hard way, like you're going to hunt all public this year, it's a grind, man. Like you're going to get in there an hour and a half before everybody else. You're going to hike way back there, and you're after a giant. But if you don't have the time to do that, like we like to hunt weeknights after work. I can't hike into public. First of all, the public we hunt's 40 minutes from the house. So now I'm already getting in there too late. It's 5 o'clock. It just doesn't work out. So if you can get these private spots that are closer to home, easier to get in and out of, you can cut trails, do a little bit more management to them. So that's what I think we both learned, that networking is key in hunting. And maybe not, networking might not be the word for it. It is for us because we have a YouTube channel, but for just everybody else out there, just knock on doors, ask people. Yeah. So easy to do.
Yeah. Jimmy, what about you? Did you get anything down last year? Because I honestly forget, to be honest.
Yeah. I actually, when was that? Late October.
Yeah.
I was after this pretty big 8-pointer.
Okay.
And it's kind of a suburban spot. Like, yeah, it's suburban.
It's not like neighborhood, but it's not big woods. So.
Yeah. But this buck came out, and it was at like, I don't know, 14 yards. And I thought it was that 8-pointer, and it wasn't. It was a pretty young 8-pointer. But I got him.
It's not a bad deer by any means. It's just when, like, that goes back to I had a picture of a bigger deer, so it's stuck in your head.
It happened so fast because I, like, where my stand is, I'm in this huge tree, and I cut one little circle out for a shooting lane. Because, like, the other part is the guy's property, a different property.
It's tight.
So, like, by the time you see him, you got to make up your mind.
Yeah.
And, like, to me, I was like, that's him.
Yep.
But
I mean,
it's still a nice
do you
buck.
regret? I was going to say, do you, like, regret?
No.
Regret shooting it?
No.
All right.
Never.
It just goes back to, I had a picture of a bigger deer, so I could have had that deer, but now I have this. If that other deer wouldn't have been on camera and it was just that buck, we would all have been, like, clapping hands, like, we got a nice one, man. But because you saw the giant, you're like, I kind of wish, and you can't do that, man. It's like
2 years ago, I had the 10 who's still alive on camera, and I had a 7-point, like a decent 7-point, like come by me. Would have been my first bow kill. Would have been my first one out of the saddle. Would have been everything.
Past the 7,
and I'd pass him up. I had two. I had probably like 3 shots at him.
A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I think that's the saying. If it's not the saying, I've been saying it like that for 7 years. So if that's not how it goes, guys, comment below. Let us know. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. I am a huge believer in not passing a deer that I would be happy with on the final day of the season. And I'm not a huge rifle hunter. It's different for me. It's not as intimate. You know what I mean? You're not as close to the animal. So I would rather take a little bit smaller of a deer in bow season than in rifle season. Plus, it's cold in rifles. I don't want to be out there.
Who wants to be out there in the cold, right?
I'll go out and film somebody or go do that, but I don't want to be. So to me, it's like if that buck, like when last year, I didn't shoot a huge deer, but I shot a buck that I damn sure would have been happy with on the last day. If he walked in front of me, I definitely would have taken the shot and been tickled pink. So that's my motto. It's like, if you'd be happy with him on the last day, then, and that's it goes, like, they say the best hunters go some years without tagging. Like, you gotta wait. Like, I haven't, since I started hunting, not killed a buck.
Yeah.
So every single year I've killed a buck. That's part of me taking a deer that's maybe smaller than some other guys would. But to me, the meat's there. It made me excited. It got me fired up. I'm shaking. I'm shooting the deer.
It's a memory you wouldn't have if you didn't.
And as we get further into this, like, we've established some ground rules this year where, like, I'm probably not. If it's not, if it's
gotta set the rules with him. You know?
Now I've killed enough deer. And
listen, Ryan, you're not gonna fucking shoot a 100-inch buck, all right?
I'm like, he'll send me a trail cam pic, and he's like, "Dude, shoot her." And I'm like, "Well, I mean,
I sent one last night. Illegal? We talked about this before the podcast started. I sent one last night to Jimmy. I'm like, "Let's go." That's exactly what I said. Let's go. And Jimmy replied back, "Does it even have brows?" And I was sitting there. We were watching The Sopranos, my wife and I. I'm like, no. So like, you got to get checked some point. But like, I'm at the point now where my 5 favorite deer are hanging in my office. If it's my 5 biggest bucks, if it's not big enough to go on that wall, it won't get shot this year. And for the first year ever, I'll kill doe. I'll fill the freezer. We'd like to donate a doe. We have 3 or 4 doe tags each.
Wow, you need to name a title of that on one of the videos. Donate a doe.
I filmed one last year. I filmed shooting one, but I did it by myself and it didn't turn out as good. Like, this year we will definitely do it's called Share the Harvest.
Hunter Sharing the Harvest.
It's a great program. It's like an incredible program that feeds. I forget. They send out they feed like
simple as that.
I think it's like it serves like 200,000 meals to homeless, which is a crazy number. And it's like, we like to be out there. We like to hunt. You're keeping, like, some of these deer come off of farms that the farmers don't want them there. And if you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, like, you're out enjoying yourself. You're donating 200 meals per deer, and you're helping out a farmer. It's just a win-win-win. So we did one. We killed on a farm last year. We donated it. We harvested it, donated it. That was awesome. We didn't get it on film, but I think that's like high up on my list to film this year because no one knows about it. Like, the only reason I ever found out about the program is I was dropping off a deer at the butcher and I saw the Pennsylvania Share the Harvest and Googled it and found out. Like, I've never seen advertisements for it. I've never, like, they're not marketing it. So I'd love to do a video like that and, like, show people it's this easy. You gut the deer like you would anyways. You drag it out. You don't skin it. You don't have to quarter it. Nothing. You put your doe tag on it. You drop it off at a participating processor, and that's it. They send you a cool sticker, a certificate, and a sticker in the mail, and you did your part. So like, it's a win-win-win. We'd like to do a video on that this year for sure.
Yeah,
we will do a video on that.
Yeah, we had Randy on the podcast.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
So
he runs the program, right?
He does. Yes, he does. So they do advertise.
Do they?
Yeah.
Hey,
through the podcast.
Well, I was gonna say, I think we need to do a video for them too. Free of charge. First one's free.
First one's free.
It's free to look. It's free to look.
So Jimmy was primarily the one filming you, right?
Yeah.
When you were on before.
Yep.
So now you're getting to filming yourself now? You're self-filming, like, you two aren't always together?
Not to the level Jimmy films.
Well, obviously.
Like, if you guys watch
Jimmy's
the video,
a professional.
and his gear is insane. Like, his camera, he's got, I don't know, 10 grand wrapped up in this thing. Like,
it's disgusting.
But you have to be good. Like, I'd buy that camera, but you have to be able to focus. You have to. I hunt with a 4K Handycam, Sony Handycam, and they're just like that.
Yep.
And it auto focuses. It's very easy. You're not so focused on film before hunting. You're more hunting, and that's gonna catch everything. Like,
because you can zoom in when you cut and edit.
Yeah, it's easy. It auto focuses. It picks up stuff. The zoom's crazy on them, and then I use a Tacticam on my bow and a GoPro too. So that'll get it all done. But like, when you get a deer on his Sony, he has an A7. That's what it is, right? A7. When you get a deer coming in his, it's like you're in a movie theater. Like, it's like blurry behind it, and the deer's perfectly clear, and it's walking in. Like, it's a movie. So like, I would like to get to that point. Maybe someday I will, but it's a responsibility. Dude, the camera's expensive. So now you're out in the weather with that thing. It's heavy. To get an arm that holds it and get this huge. I mean, he's got a lens that's this big. It's a lot of work. So I would say I'm like junior level self-filmer. Like, I got the
middle
GoPro.
School.
Yeah, I got the GoPro.
This will be your first year self-filming by yourself?
I filmed last year.
No, you were filming.
Yeah, I've put a couple videos up, but nothing like what Jimmy does. And like, the magic is in that big camera, and like, being able to, like, you have to have an eye for it. Like, it's tough to do. So, and even when I do get the footage, Jimmy will edit it all. He'll put it all together. But I filmed every year. This will be like, I want to try to take it a little bit more serious this year, but Also, like, I'm at the point, like, if it's a really nice deer and I can't get it on camera, I'll shoot that deer off camera. I'll take that buck.
As you should.
We could still make a video. Look, like, YouTube went through a thing where they were demonetizing the shot on the animal, so a lot of guys were blurring that out anyway. So we could still tell the story of that deer and get the interviews before, the interviews after, the drag out, the processing, that whole thing. So I'll still do that. But when you get it on camera, dude, it's special. Because, like, we'll go back and watch these videos. Like, now we've been doing this for 4 years, so we'll go back and watch our original videos. It's cringy because, like, we weren't very good at this yet. And we're like, oh, I'm like, Jimmy sucked at editing. But we go back and look at these videos, and it's like, you're sitting around a campfire telling hunting stories. Like, say we have our grandkids someday. We're sitting there like, oh, your dad, he shot this tiny little 6-point. Here's the video. And you get to show them. Like, that's going to be cool. We're the first generation that can do that. Pass on that hunting generation, like those generational stories through video. So if nothing else, like if YouTube went away tomorrow, I'd still do it. Like to go back. Plus the information you get, like, okay, I shot that buck. Did I shoot him high? Did I shoot him low? Where did he run after? What did he kick? Did he mule kick? Oh, I swear he mule kicked. You watch it back, he didn't kick. Like, it was high. You know what I mean? So that gives you a whole new aspect of it too. So that I mean, I don't think I'll ever get to the level that Jimmy is for filming.
We still got a lot of work to go.
Jimmy's passionate about filming though. Like this dude wants to drive around and just film deer in fields, and like he's obsessed with that camera.
And now it's filming geese.
Now it's filming waterfowl. Like, he's got some crazy cool pictures that I'm going to print out and put in my office. But, like, self-filming waterfowl's tough. Like,
I believe it.
Most YouTube you see is guys using GoPros because that's all you can really do. Jimmy's using his big camera, and it's like, dude, it's mayhem. Like, when they come in and they're circling you, and now there's some in front of you, some behind you, and you're focusing on them. And it just, like, our opening day hunt this year was...
Well, I like to have, like, in the videos... not just all GoPro footage.
Right.
Like,
well,
I like to have some good shots in there. Like, so there's times I don't shoot.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Jimmy shoots at 30% of the flocks that come in.
You took that one.
I just like know how close it is. Jimmy shoots at 30% of flocks, so he'll film. Like, if there's 5, and that takes a selfless guy. Like, that's the other thing. If you're filming your hunts, like, you're not going to have as many opportunities as the other guys. Like, but in return, a lot of waterfowl guys want us to come out and hunt because then next week they get to watch the video of the memory. And like, our best video we have on YouTube is a waterfowl hunt that like we'll remember that day forever. It was, we limited out late season last year.
5 minutes.
Yeah, we limited out in 5 minutes, dude. It was mayhem. We're hunting a pond. We're literally at the point where we were done. We hit our limit. I'm in my waders in the pond cleaning up these birds, and they're still trying to land them. Like, they wanted it in that spot. So it was so fun. But, like, to have that on video is awesome.
Yeah.
So if birds come in and there's 4 or 5 and we have 6 guys, he doesn't pick up his gun.
Yeah.
And then we miss a couple of them, and he's like, "Whoa, if I would have been shooting, I would have cleaned those up."
I got to hop out of the blind and clean up.
There was a couple times this weekend where Jimmy was filming, put the camera down, picked up his gun, and just ripped one. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, nice shot. You can hear in the video, I'm like, nice shot, Jimmy. Like, he picked up a couple and was like, but it took him a couple of times to get to that point, didn't it?
2 shots.
Dude, last year.
Got to get warmed up. You guys already have,
It does take a selfless person to film others.
Literally, Pat. Like, and if we go hunting somewhere, he's always down to be like, I'll film. Like, archery. Like, like he was going to come up to 5C with me. We're going to sit in a blind that we have tucked away, and he's just going to film. Like, who wants to wake up at 4 a.m, drive out there, go hunting, be cold, be miserable in that morning, to sit there and possibly not see a deer, but even if you do, you know you don't have a bow with you.
Right.
Like, you don't have permission there, you're not going to hunt there. Just have a camera. It takes a selfless person.
But I think if you have a bigger passion than hunting, like you're obviously filming and photography, that kind of stuff, like that's more of a deeper passion for you. Like, you would 100%, I feel like, rather have a business doing that, be your own boss doing that kind of stuff than...
Right. So in the part, I feel like we talked a little bit about this through text, but... I don't want to completely stop hunting just to film others.
Yes.
Like, because I still love to hunt.
Yeah.
But,
which is where Drawback comes in. Like, okay, like, what do we have? How many followers do we have on YouTube? 5,000?
We got 5.3, yeah.
So it's at 5. But last year when we were here, it was at 3. And the year before that, we were at 1,000. So it's getting bigger. Eventually, you supplement that. And, like, maybe it's not your full-time job, but you have some income coming in. Like we always said, we wanted to make just enough money doing Drawback to pay for a hunt a year.
Yes.
Like I'm not against paid hunts at all. I'm just not at the point right now where I'm willing to do it.
Or at least pay for your tag to go.
Right.
Yeah, pay for your Ohio tag or
Mm-hmm.
your Iowa tag or go chase a public land elk. Like that's expensive, dude. Like fuel costs, hotels, everything, gear. Like it's expensive unless you rent from the Camo Crew. But like it is really
check him out on Instagram.
Yeah, dude, we need to. Yeah, I'm gonna buy that domain tonight.
I think.
But it's so expensive. So like that was the goal. Like Jimmy's like, I don't need to make a killing doing this. I need to make just enough money to like do that. And like that money, you make that money now. So you've merchandise you can sell, hats, T-shirts, hoodies. Like Jimmy sold a ton of stuff, and that's crazy too to see your stuff like going to Arizona, California, Nevada, like sending out your stuff. So I think that's probably where you'll lie. Like you'd like to build Drawback too. Not a full-time gig, but just supplement income and be able to have a little bit more free time and go hunt.
There's no account for Camo Crew. Well, there's one. It's called Camo Crew, but it's a fake
please.
account.
DM them and tell them
Hey,
we're going to send them a cease and desist. Yeah, you'll be getting to see what's your address. We're sending you something in the mail. Hey, that's no longer a thing.
Yeah.
So, Camo Crew.
So you have waterfowl, you have that stuff planned. The lessons you learned, we kind of went into that, but like since it's going to be released in the early season of October, I really want to dive into a little bit of tactics, that clickbaity stuff, right? So I want to talk about that a little bit. Like, where do you find success in the early season? Like, how now that you're hunting primarily private, like, you do your off-season scouting on that piece of property, or you maybe you found a buck and you have to get more access during the season. Like, what's some tips that you guys have, or like things that you've learned that?
So this year, obviously this new spot we got up north. I mean, we've never hunted it yet, so like this year is going to be a big learning year for us on that property, because we don't know, which way. It's only like 60,
starting scratch.
Yeah. 62
we haven't
acres,
sat in a tree stand there yet.
Yeah.
So like Jimmy's been busting his ass this year, putting a ton of time in, getting cameras out there set up. But like, you just don't know, right? Like what your camera shows you one thing. Like we have a buck named Tires that we named him Tires because Jimmy was going to put batteries in the camera and he blew a tire.
This guy.
Yeah. So we named him Tires. I'm like, well,
dude, just buy cheaper tires.
No,
yeah, that's what.
That.
No, he's got this big old truck. Yeah, these big old tires. Yeah, that's why I drove here today. I didn't want to be on the side of the road with a blown.
Ryan wants to shoot tires so bad though, so he has this nice 5-piece on the right side.
Okay.
I mean, huge mainframe 5 on the right side.
No, it's left.
Left side, yeah.
Left
his
side.
right side's funky.
And then on his right side, he has like a 13-inch spike that
no,
goes backwards.
It's 2 points on there. He's got
it's
a
like,
kicker too, but yeah, it's a spike. And to me, dude, I love funky bucks.
Yeah.
Like I love like irregular, non-typical. Like he could have like this buck's a great one side, and he's literally got a spike. And most people would be like, let him grow next year, see if he'll grow it back. I'm like, I want him now, dude. I want that Euro mount would be incredible. Like,
absolutely.
I love character bucks. I love like my favorite buck I ever shot was on his grandfather's farm, and he's got a triple brow like that, and only on one side, not the other. Like that is the coolest thing to me. So that's my number one hit list buck, and he shows up like pretty regularly on camera.
So this is, you said it's 16 acres?
No, 62.
Oh, 62? Okay. All right.
How aggressive would you guys get then? Because like you said, you've never hunted this. You haven't even sat in a tree yet. Like, do you want to go just dive in? Or
right now, like, so I have a couple tree stands set up at the corners of fields, because it's, the way the property's set up, I don't want to give out too much, but
it all leads to a field, basically.
Yeah, they all lead to a field. So it's like just good spots where we could kind of observe and maybe potentially have one come out to the corner to feed in the afternoon. But there's a couple pinch points on the property because of a pond. So I think that's going to be a good spot. And there's like a little crabapple tree that's probably, 8 years old or so.
Yeah.
That has tiny little apples on it.
Ethan, I don't see us getting super aggressive. Like those stands are placed in like pretty like observational sit spots. Like if we sit there for 3 days and we see a deer keep going in and out of the same track into the woods, maybe we get a little bit more aggressive and jump in on him. But I think
we still have our mobile sets, so like if we see something, I'll throw the saddle on and
we'll get more aggressive. I think the first couple sits are like it's our first year, very observational. What are these deer doing? I think we have a good chance still of getting a buck where the stands are. Like if you look at a map, that's where you would set the stands, but we're definitely not like in their bedroom by any means. I think that's important too. Like another thing learning last year, like pressure. Keep out of your spots, man. Go in there when you have to, and that's
the best part about us, kind of going over towards private. Like, that's
you
one
can
less
control
thing we have
the
to
narrative
worry about,
for sure.
Yep,
for sure.
You kind of control that uncontrollable thing that you always have on public. Because,
like nothing's worse spending hours and hours and then seeing a horse walk by your trail camera. You're like, dude, last year we had a spot that Jimmy found. He hiked in so far, found this spot, and we're going to check. He had the cameras up there, so we're going to go in and check these batteries. And it's up there, dude. The day we went was so hot and sticky and miserable, up a mountain. And I'm following him like, dude, are we almost there? Like, now I'm starting to bitch. Like, are we almost there? Like, what's up, dude? Like, I'm sweating my ass off back here. He's like, yep, keep going. We're like, up this drainage ditch. He's like, it's right over the hill here. We get out to the top of the hill. I'm like, oh, it is clearing out. I can see, like, light coming through. I'm like, it's clearing out. It must be right there. We crest the hill. A freaking bulldozer, dude. Like the size of this room.
They were creating horse trails in the public land.
They made a freaking public access trail, like way back there. I have no idea how they got the bulldozed trees, 2 trucks, like 2 dump trucks wide, bulldozed all the trees down and put a trail right
and
through.
I was getting a ton of good bucks.
Like 15 yards from his camera. Like it just so happened to be they could have took down his damn tree with his camera. So that spot's ruined. Like that's public land though. Like that's the stuff you have to deal with. Like you put in all that time, all that off-season scouting for nothing. Like there's uncontrollables. Like so when you hunt these private lands, like now granted we don't know what the neighbors are going to do. Yep. Are the neighbors going to be assholes? Are they going to poach? Are they going to be baiting? Like oh there you go, Rogers.
Aaron Rodgers just threw a touchdown.
I mean the thing is
that was a rush.
These bigger, more mature bucks are, I believe, staying on the neighbor's property.
Okay.
On the other ridge.
Yep.
And so obviously this year you can't like put in a food plot yet or anything. So you got to look at it as like this is most likely going to be a transition area, rut time, area.
They have does, I guess, on the 60 acres.
So they're like all summer, nothing but bucks.
Okay.
Like
daylighting bucks. We didn't no nighttime pictures.
It was insane.
In the field or just
Okay. So and then like obviously that shift like we talked about is kind of happening, and now it's like we have 2-3 bucks in all
When did you see the shift? Like when did you see on the cameras for there?
I'd say actually a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we're recording this, for everyone knows, it's September 9th.
Yeah, so like end of August, I would say we started seeing that shift. But tires still.
I said,
there's 2 bucks that stayed and are there like almost every day, but the majority of like the big mature bucks have not showed up.
That's what I wanted to ask. Like, do you see more of a shift in the mature bucks, or do you see them like in all ranges of bucks really out there?
I'd say mature bucks this year from this property.
Yeah.
Not that Tires isn't mature. That's a mature deer, but he's sticking around. He's got a bad side. He's not going to be that aggressive. I wouldn't see him being like a pit bull this year. Yeah. He's probably going to stick to like land where no one else is and stay to himself. He probably knows he's got that bad side. But I definitely, like when that switch happens, I don't know about you, but every year I'm surrounded by like 5 or 6 spike buck. Like the property in 5C is famous for like I'm like how many spike buck are there? I'm like that's all right. Next year he'll be a little bigger, and the year after that he'll be a shooter. But then they don't come back. You know what I mean? So it's like the little buck I don't think changed their patterns, and they can give 2 shits. So like,
well they don't know yet.
They're looking up and they're like okay, I'm gonna pass through here. We good? I'm like you're good, dude. Go ahead. Like we have antler restrictions, but
with that property,
I can see him talking to deer. Yeah, you're fine. Go on.
Has anyone hunted that property before? Like
so, the last time it was hunted was like. I can't remember if it was 2011 or 14.
But neighbors, we know there was a tree stand on it when we got permission. That the landowner had no idea.
Is there a house on the land? No.
Just
it's just a blank.
So because it's been barren for so long, who knows who's been hunting it? Like there's that like it's up in the middle of nowhere. So
100%.
The neighbor had a tree stand.
I made sure the neighbors have been seeing me the last couple times.
Did you post it?
It's posted.
Okay, yeah, it's posted. But that you know how that gets. Like they get the couple more yards onto your land, nothing happens. They never see anybody there.
The tree stand we found was very fresh. Like it was last year's.
Yeah, it was a brand new.
Straps were fantastic.
Yeah,
the tree stand. You know what I mean?
And we don't know what the neighbors are doing yet either. Are they gonna shoot everything they see? Or are they on the same mindset of we are let these deer grow? Are they gonna freak out if I shoot Tires because they want to see him come back next year at the big? We don't know.
Feeding him in the backyard.
Yeah. Are they baiting? Are they poaching? Are they shooting everything that walks? Like we'll figure that out this year too by hunting up there a little bit more.
How far is it? Like, obviously don't give away too much of it, but like, is it a good distance away from you that you can't check it like on a weekly basis, kind of?
3 hours.
Yeah, you can't check that on a weekly basis.
No.
It's upstate Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So it's 3 hours from us.
We like to get out of this area now.
Yeah.
Like, we try as much as we can for whitetails. We want to get out of this area.
Which is a shame because, like, we're here all the time, right? We live here, but this area is so competitive. Like, I feel like I've had to talk Jimmy off the ledge a couple times because these guys are posting, like, giant bucks in Illinois, Iowa. He's like, dude, everybody's shooting slammers. Like, but get your expectations realistic to where we are, right? Like, again, if there's not a 150-inch deer in your property, you're not going to get a 150-inch deer. Yep. That's impossible. Like, it's not going to happen. So, like, think about what we have around us, the culture of PA hunting, shoot the first deer you see. I mean, antler restrictions helped, but still, like, I would, like, dare to say most PA hunters, especially rifle hunters that go out, like, if it's a legal buck, they're going to shoot it. So we have a ton of hunters here. Second most hunted state or first? What are we?
I think we're the top. Well, I think it's
top
Michigan
3
and us.
for sure. Yeah. It's like Michigan, us, Wisconsin, right?
Yep.
Like those are the top 3. So
I do like that point because, you know, what Jimmy is saying, like, oh, I see these people putting on slammers, like, kind of gets in your head. It's like
100%.
I've recently, since the season started, with Maryland and Kentucky and all that kind of stuff, like, I'm like looking at these people dropping bucks and like it's like all of a sudden it's back to last year where it's in your head now. Yeah. And it's like
you can't lose focus of where you're at in your hunting career and where you're located. Like, if I don't know about you, but if I see someone that gets a 120-inch buck in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, I'm like, nice buck. Like, hats off. If that picture gets posted on Instagram and a kid in Iowa on a 280-acre farm sees it, he's going to laugh. He's going to comment under it, actually. He's like, you got to let those deer grow. Like, not knowing the area at all. So, like, each person has their own goals. And if that, I would say, like, I'm trying to shoot a bigger deer this year. But if a smaller deer gets you excited and gets you fired up, take that deer, man. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Or bird in the bush is bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush. Yeah, it's so corny to say, like, and we, like, everybody's like, oh, don't worry about what people say on social media, like, and like we've noticed it this year, like, as our YouTube grows for the first time ever, we got some hate comments, and it's like, all right,
that'll happen.
All right, geese land, like, say 6 of them hit the water, and like 6 of them are in the air, and then the 6 in the air come down on the 6 in the water, and we get up and shoot, and we're killing the ones on the water too. They're like, you're water swatters, you kill them, like,
unethical.
Like, shoot them in the wing, or you're not really hunting. I'm like, dude, we're out here goose hunting, having fun. Like, it's all about an ethical kill, right? Why wouldn't I do that? Like, and then you watch all the biggest waterfowl YouTubers, Cole Towson, all these guys. They do that too. Like, it's a scenario where you have. What do you want me to do? Like, so someone's always going to be. You should have passed that deer. Someone's always going to have shot a bigger deer than you. And someone's always going to be telling you what duck you should shoot, how you should shoot them. Like, you got to block all that out. If it makes you happy.
It's not even just that. Like, I was recently like, man, I just want to go out hunting. Like, I just want to, like, go out. Like, every time I see that, it's like I want to go out, even though, like, I have a family. It's like, I can't do that. Yeah. And it's like, it gets in your head because I was watching my daughter all weekend. Like, my wife was working. And I was like, man, I just want to, like, go out and scout and go in the woods. And it's like,
just strap her on.
And that's the thing, too. That's a great point, Cody. It's like, you got to have priorities in life. And, like, as important as hunting is, too, like, your children are more important. You know what I mean? Your career is probably more important. Like, Jimmy and I have been talking about, like, dude, that guy's always out hunting. And it's like, well, maybe he has the time, or maybe he has different priorities, but you got to stay in your line of, like, these are my priorities. We love to hunt, but it can't be the only thing you do. So balance that out. And, like, it's like gain some brownie points with your wife in one aspect, and maybe she would say,
Wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, dude. Jimmy's like, what do you mean? I'm moving to Iowa tomorrow, dude. I'm never talking to you again.
But like, I actually was like, I had a mind game with myself this weekend. It was like, man, I shouldn't be on social media as much, like looking at this stuff, because every time you get on, like, it's another buck. It's another buck, and it's like,
people are killing it. We're like that with waterfowl too. Like, we're looking at opening day happens. Like, did anyone get more birds than us? Did anyone get more birds than us? And like, and it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, we know we had a really good day. We had fun. We made a video out of it. We had great memories. We laughed. We made fun of each other. It was a fun day. So I don't care if this guy killed 47 and we killed 27, or, like, good for him. He had a good day too. Like, I think that's so ridiculous. I've shot in deer that I've never even posted on Instagram because it's like, For what? For someone else to judge it and be like, I don't need the judgment of anybody else. I'm super happy about it. Now, like with Drawback and with filming, it's a little different. Like that video is going to go out, but you won't catch me embarrassed about what I shot. Like, I mean, I've shot in doe that are the size of dogs. I've shot in, you know what I mean, little 6-point bucks. Like I've killed like 2 years ago that killed a deer in late season up in 5C, like a little buck. And like you won't see me like ashamed of it. You know what I mean? I'm still proud to do it. You can't get that in your head. And it's so cliche because everyone's like, oh, take what makes you happy. Take what makes you happy. That sounds so corny. I hate that, but it's so true, dude. Like like you said last year, you passed on a 7-pointer that you'd been pumped to have, and in return, you didn't get one. Like, so, you know what I mean? You should have shot the buck.
Because in my mind, like what you said, like it was like I had bigger deer on camera, and also I was in the mindset I'm going out to Illinois where there's hammers walking
huge,
around,
massive bucks,
and it's like I didn't, but yet
your perception changed,
right? Because I was like, my mindset was like, I'm going to Illinois, so I'll be in Illinois. But like, I was literally in PA. I had to put mindset on PA.
Yep.
It's like this year going to Ohio. Like I know there's big ones out in Ohio, but I rather have an experience. Like I need to get something down with the bow. This year.
You need that practice.
I need that because
it'll be like a weightlifting.
And that comes from a guy that started 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And someone that's been doing it, since they were a kid.
Once you get those reps in and getting a deer and get that, like, there's a big confidence thing there too. Like once you heart shot one, you're like, okay, like it's different shooting at a target because you're not freaking out. But now you're drawing on a deer. The deer looks up at you. You're halfway drawing. You freak out. You let it down.
Stanky leg every time, dude. Every time, bro.
But it's
that's why I got to sit down most shots.
I always stand to shoot.
So you sit down. Do you sit down in the saddle too when you shoot, like with your knees against the tree?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
My knees against the tree.
That is the most like stable position.
I always stand to shoot.
Now I've been setting up my tree stands. Like I've been doing a lot of my tree stands have a shit ton of cover.
Yeah.
And I'll cut out like 2 holes for lanes.
2 different styles of hunting. Jimmy likes where you can only see 20 yards and that's it. And like the deer, when you see it, it's shootable and it's on you like
fast.
that.
Yeah.
I like to hunt where I can see 45 yards, 50 yards.
Yeah, like your max range.
Watch the deer come into me, get a further shot possibly. Watch. He sees more deer than I do because he hunts in that thick stuff. You would think I would because I'm hunting in this more open, but also, by that time of the season, especially when we were only hunting public, deer don't want to be there.
Yep.
But it's like mentally, like, I'm bored up there. I want to look around. I want to see some shit. Like he hunts in the thickest of the thick and the nastiest of the nasty. And I'm always like, well, you can only see 20 yards. But he'll text, oh yeah, I saw 4 tonight. I'm like, well, I didn't see anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I can see 65 yards in all directions. And then also another negative to that is I catch myself looking around all day, you know what I mean? Standing up, turning around. Jimmy's just like
watching my hole.
Staring at the it's totally different styles, and like I'm starting to like get more towards like that's what Jimmy has taught me. Like I'm starting to like lean a little bit more towards that. Like this property I'm hunting 5C, I'm up in the woods now. It's a little thicker in there. Like I'm starting to get to that somewhere in between. I think I'd be happy, but you got to be like his tree stands, dude. You'd walk by him in a tree and not know he's there.
So that's I like that because I kind of. The first time you were on, we talked about that. We went scouting together too. We talked about that in the woods as well. I want to get into that because I think that's like people go into the thick and nasty, but I don't think they really go into the thick and nasty.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Everybody thinks they go into thick and nasty until they've been in the thick and nasty. Like, oh shit!
Yes.
Like that guy's hunting there. Like, that's Jimmy. He's like hunting there. I'm like, I don't want to go in there, dude. Like, there's jangers. Like, I don't want to get I don't want to get poked. Yeah, I don't want to get. Dude, last year I poked my eye.
Dude, you had to go to the hospital.
I punctured my cornea last year.
Good for
dead
you.
Center of my eye.
Way to go.
Yeah, thanks, man. I had to go to urgent care.
Way to pop it.
I couldn't drive. I could barely drive home. I'm like, and they said thankfully I had my contacts and that took some of the brunt of it. But
getting a call.
Are you kidding me, dude? So it's like his 7th podcast and he's certain got his phone on. Are you kidding me? All right, that's the rule. Throw it outside. Yeah, throw it outside. But no, I was walking out and I was like, I had a weird experience up there where I had heard a fox once. Okay. And it was like...
Oh, I think you talked about this.
Yeah.
Was that one?
Yeah. This is the property. Yeah, this is the property where the fox...
Like, what is that?
Yeah, this is the fox property, dude. This thing screamed at me.
Yep.
So I'm like I'm still like uneasy about it. When it gets dark up there, I'm like straight down the mountain. And
straight down. Don't look around. Just
dude, it's real dark and you don't realize it. Like to the point where I'm like might wear safety glasses at some point when I walk. It's so thick in there. And I was like looking down, step over a log, looked up to see where I was, and I just walked right into a stick, into the eye. Immediately, I was like, couldn't see out of it. Drove home, driving like this, went straight to urgent care.
Were you riding a bike?
No, I was just like driving. Probably I was a little drunk. Get to urgent care. They like put the drops in. They're like, yeah, you punctured your cornea. Like it's probably gonna heal. Went to the eye doctor. Everything healed fine. It's amazing I'm even here today. Like, I'm just thankful.
To live it, talk about it.
It's my shooting eye, you know what I mean? But it healed fine. But, like, that's that property. It's so thick up there. That's the first time I've ever hunted in the thick. Where I think is thick, he is a whole different
So
idea.
describe the thick. Because, like, I'm thinking, like, thorns, laurel, like, that kind of stuff. Like, talk about that.
So last year it was a lot of laurel.
Yeah.
But years in the past, I would say, like, thorns, like multiflora rose and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
thick pines.
I wouldn't say like clear cut. I wasn't hunting clear cuts. I was just hunting like thickets that, because from hunting our public spot for so many years, like I knew kind of where people were going.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'd branch off that into thicker spots.
Okay.
When I say he has a 20-yard shot, like he has a 20-yard shot.
Yeah.
Like there might be a deer that walks under him, he can't shoot because he's in a freaking pine, or he's in like he's got a 1 or 2. Like go up in his stands, I'm like, this sucks. I can't shoot anywhere, dude. But like. He gets it done. Like he has 1 or 2 shots. That's it.
So you like in like the bedding areas, kind of?
Right off
Off the bedding areas. Like when you go in, like how do you get in there quietly and get set up? Like,
I take my time.
Okay.
Like I walk real slow.
So when you walk slow, walk us through how you walk.
Just heel to toe.
Heel to toe.
And
like do you stop between each step? Like kind of like wait a little bit.
Not
depending?
between each step. It's like every 2 to 3.
Okay.
But
All
yeah,
right.
I take a lot of time walking in.
Yeah.
That's key,
and
man.
out.
Like
Yeah.
you spook deer, dude. When in the morning when it's quiet, there's nothing going on. You mean to tell me like I could hear someone walking up there?
Yeah.
The deer heard it for sure. And like the other thing we've been thinking about a lot this year is like, what vehicle are you driving? How close are you driving in? Like Jimmy drives a loud truck, a big
does.
diesel truck. You could hear that thing from.
Oh, absolutely.
One would say compensating, you know, whatever. I can hear that thing, dude. I live 7 miles from Jimmy. I can hear him start his truck in the morning. Like that's it's to the point where my wife's like, oh, Jimmy's here, and like 3 minutes later he pulls into the neighborhood. I'm like, yeah, he was here. Like, but like, what are deer thinking? Like, now if you're hunting real far back, who gives a shit? But if you're not, you know what I mean? Like, in our hunting spot this year. Yep. Pick that out. So thanks for joining us.
I mean, I don't care about these guys knowing.
But so
do you care about them?
Upstate.
Everybody else.
Yeah,
Everyone else upstate.
Cody and Ethan will be there. Like, oh, where's
Oh
that?
yeah, you guys go upstate.
Yeah. Dude, it was Cody's tree stand we took out of there.
Good thing is a big county.
Yeah, we're
saying
about
it, dude.
We're about
he's
2 hours from you. So,
but okay, so let's pick that back up before I spilled the beans. I can't keep a secret to save my life.
do you still have the cabin and Potter?
No,
you don't have that anymore?
We never actually got it.
Oh,
yeah, that would have been key.
That's disappointing.
I couldn't me and my dad were talking about it, and I just couldn't pull the trigger.
How much was it? If you don't mind me asking.
It was cheap.
It was like 30 or 40, I think.
Yeah, but
no, maybe it was less than that.
Yeah, but it was back to state. It didn't have its own land, so it was like back to state game land.
Oh, that would have been
like,
perfect.
Yeah,
I think in the next like 3 years we'll have.
That's me and my wife's goal is like have a cabin or at least land that is our own that we can put
when I have kids and stuff, we'll buy some land together and we'll set it up.
I would do that with Ethan, but see, he already has a cabin.
I already have.
Some guys have it all, you know.
He's never willing to go in with it.
Here we are, just getting by. You know what I mean?
Unless we had like a completely different spot, like not up north.
You wouldn't want to do that. You already have a cabin. Why would you want to buy another piece of land that's going to be yours anyway?
It's more opportunities.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. Like if you
like
have
why
a
get
buddy,
permission on more than one private property? You got options.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if you have a buddy too that you really trust, like you two going in on property would be great, right? Like buddies.
I don't trust them.
Just keep no.
I mean, I don't even know why I'm here. I don't know.
All right, Ethan, should we head out here?
Yeah. I don't know. You made fun of me last episode.
No, come on.
Yeah, I remember.
You shot the biggest doe I've ever seen. Come on, dude.
What was?
Remember the closing statements last episode? You're like, doesn't matter if you have 20 some acres in private property in Potter County.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
no, I was just saying, dude. I was just saying, like, you know.
I'm like, dude, that's a little.
Wait.
That was a little.
I forgot Ethan's cabin was in Potter.
That was a little too specific.
So, you made fun of Ethan for having 20 acres of private.
Now we're hunting 60
and now
acres
you're
of private.
primarily hunting private.
It was a jealousy thing, dude. It was a jealousy thing. Like, here I am on Swatera. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say that name, dude. It's the most hunted public piece of property in Lebanon County, dude. Like, I hunt everywhere. Everyone, you're like, you hunt public? I'm like, yeah. Like, where do you hunt? They tell me, where about? And they're like, oh, up in the, I'm like, yeah, I know it well. I'm like, well, text Jimmy, gotta go get my tree stand. Dude, we were hunting this year. One of the guys we waterfowl hunt with this year sent me a picture of my stand. I was like, is this your stand? And I was like, yeah, it's got my name on it. Like, sent me a picture of my name, my CID number. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Clearly, it's
my address on it.
Yep.
And he's like, it's a little close to my stand. Will you move it? I'm like, oh, dude, here we go. Like,
do you talk to him again still?
Nah, yeah, we don't even hunt with him this year. But I did take the stand out. The stand's gone. I'm like, well, dude, in my defense, like, it is close to a stand, but the stand had been in there for so long that it had grown like 6 inches. Yeah. It had grown like 6 inches with the tree off the ground. You're supposed to take your stand off the public land every year. Yep. So in my mind, I'm like, well, this stand's abandoned. So how did he get in? He just climbed up it, dude. It was rickety. Now, and since he found mine, and I was like, dude, I thought it was abandoned. You never take it out of there, clearly. It grew with the tree. Yeah. Now, this year, when we took mine out, I noticed that his was readjusted and put back down on the ground.
He's waiting for that next 6 years where it grows.
Yeah, right. He wanted that 6 more inches of hunting height to get up a little higher. But
6 inches will do it, man.
But like, yeah, you're darn right it will. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Cut. But like, seriously, you someone like that texts you about it. You're like, dude, even people I know. My cousin one time texted me and was like, hey,
you want another beer? You can get one.
Yeah, I'll get one. Get me one too.
I can't.
But my cousin texted me.
Can I have a beer too? Thank you.
My cousin texted me one time.
It was like, I can have a beer.
Yeah, I think you are welcome to this. One time my cousin texted me and was like, hey, this is your stand. Send me a picture.
Whatever.
The peach.
Oh yeah, give me a peach.
Peach Bush.
I got work tonight.
Yeah,
otherwise I would be drinking with you guys.
No, this isn't Peach Bush, dude. This has corn on it.
It's corn flavor.
Freaking Husker.
Corn Husker.
That's not peach. We said peach,
but it's
7
fine.
times.
You know what?
I'll take the peach. No. Like, waiter brings you the wrong thing, you send it back, dude.
It's the only orange ones in there.
See, this is what I hunt. Imagine going upstate with this. Imagine driving 30 hours in North Dakota with that guy.
Where's the 6 point at? Where's the goose at? I don't know.
I'm stuck in a Wawa bathroom. I gotta go.
It's the brown thing flying in the air. Oh, that one. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. How do you know what's like flying? I'm going back to waterfowl. So how do you know the species?
But
yeah, just in
all
general.
right, guys, I'm
duck.
back.
Yeah, how do you know?
Duck's pretty tough to answer the question. Like, we went upstate New York, and so we're new into waterfowl. 3 years into waterfowl. So there's guys that are
still fresh.
What we also notice is a lot of guys only hunt waterfowl or they only hunt whitetail. Like, there's a hard divide there, and it's just time. Like, you're either
duck season's during
duck season's during archery. It's in October.
It's kind of like weird timing for like to do that, right?
Yeah, it's like the migration on which I get, but also like that's why you're either waterfowl or you're archery. Now, we do hunt with guys that do both, but it's rare. Like, you're either, and it's money, right? Like, you wouldn't have $5,000 in decoys out there and the gear and the guns and a Benelli shotgun and all this stuff. And it gets like, what do you want to devote your time to and what do you want to spend your money on? We're doing both, which is tough to sometimes manage. Like, we're going to take a couple of days off of archery this year and go duck hunting. But to answer your question on like identifying ducks as they're coming in, dude, we went to New York, upstate New York with our buddy, Dustin Outdoors. Shout out Dusty. We went out with our buddy who guides up there, and these guys we hunted with, they're calling in like, oh, 3 woodies coming in. To me, it's like the sun's just coming up. Away. Far, dude. They're across the pond, and they're like, I'm like, how'd you know that? It's like the shape of their tail. I'm like, that shape of their tail? I thought that was a crow. Like, I didn't even know it was a freaking duck. Yeah, like they're like, oh, two hen mallards coming in. Let them go. I'm like, so it takes some serious practice. That's why we like geese.
I was going to say, like, geese is easy.
Yeah,
like,
you just they come in.
A goose is a goose.
They're big birds.
They do look like planes too.
Yeah. So when you're goose hunting and you want to see one so bad, like I'm
notorious for calling out planes.
Dude, there's a plane like 300 miles away, like a Boeing, right? And Jimmy's like, got one coming in, got one coming in. Everyone like grabs their guns and gets down, and it's like, we're like, where? He's like, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Like, that's a fucking plane, Jimmy. He's like, oh shit. Oh, it's my bad, guys. My bad. Like, when we hunt like in the Myerstown area, there's like those little airports around. So like you'll see one low.
Yo, just keep telling everybody where we're hunting.
Well, I mean, it's waterfowl, dude. No, that's fine.
You got to clap a lot louder on that.
Oh yeah, I didn't even.
Everybody hunts that area. It's fine.
I mean,
but yeah, I mean,
dropping everything.
Look, dude. You know how many people we hunt out there with? A lot.
Wow.
You got the fields we got, but it's tough, dude. Like, even
do they give access to other people though? Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm sure if they have one person there, they're going to contact you first. Like, if they're good people. Anyway,
waterfowl's weird because like no farmer gives a shit that you're out there, right? So like when you're like, hey, can I come waterfowl hunt? They're like, yeah, go ahead. As long as it's not a leased field.
Yeah.
If someone's leasing, like some of these waterfowl guides will lease out a field for $3,000 for the year, and they have the only waterfowl rights there. But they're bringing in clients, so they're making their money. It's no big deal to them.
Yeah.
But if it's not leased, like when you knock on the door, it's 100 times easier conversation than can I come hunt whitetails? Can I come hunt whitetails? The farmer thinks that's their deer. It's, you know what I mean? It's on their property. They see it as like almost as an asset, and everybody loves the whitetail hunt. So like I'll either lease this property and sell the rights to hunt, or they might hunt themselves. Like everybody loves deer meat. It's totally different. When you come and say, can I shoot these crusty birds? They're like, yeah, clean up after yourself, pick up the shells.
Can I have these crusty
well,
birds?
and like to it, like you can be like the property that we're hunting right now, like the first hunt of the year, it's on a property where the landowner does not want the geese. Like they're pooping in the pond, they're spreading pathogens, they're not migrating. So we're shooting resident birds, so they never leave. They're there all year round. There's animals around, like they don't want them.
Is that the one you just posted on YouTube?
Yeah.
That one where you put that little blurb in there where like, this one we had permission, they just want the geese gone.
And that comes back to the hate comments. Like
we posted there January of last year.
Okay.
Where we had our 5-minute limit. And we got a lot of hate comments on that.
Not a lot, but if well, you know, the negatives shine through so much brighter than like we'll get like 20 good comments,
but
and then there's
way,
2 bad.
I wanted to explain it this time.
And you almost have to. It's like, hey, look, calm down. It's all legal. We're in legal, and like even in that video where people were complaining, we were legal distance all the way around us by far, like not even close to being illegal.
It's because the horses were there.
Right,
I think.
right.
Like because the horses were on video
there,
and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
And it's like, well, the property owner wanted us to be in there, wanted the birds killed, like they wanted them off the property or at least spook them out of there. And like that was like, we were doing them a favor by taking care of this. Like all the neighbors. So this year, Jimmy went above and beyond and got written permission, not only from the person that we were hunting their property, but from all the surrounding neighbors. Like anyone within like 500 yards of that property. Like for legality, you have to be 150 from a house for shooting.
Yep.
He went way further in a huge circumference. And well, the property owner emailed the one person. They're like, absolutely, thank you for dealing with this. It's been a problem for years. Like, and then, but the guy commenting on YouTube's like, that's too close to that other property. You shouldn't be doing that. It's
they
like,
don't know it. Yeah.
Oh, we have an email here. The guy's like, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Like, get him out of here. Like, that's the guy's driving his car through his farm field trying to get these geese out of there because he wants them away from his animals. So, like, that's the thing that like people don't see on YouTube. And like, I see it on like, to bring up, not to keep bringing up Seek One, but like I see it on their videos too. Like you're shooting pendant deer and like, it's like, yeah, I mean, they're not hunting the way we all hunt here, but also like there's still work involved. He's still knocking on doors. I don't know. I'm a Seek One guy, so
clearly.
Well, I mean, I respect what they do. Listen, like to the point where they've gotten, I think it's a little easier than how we're doing it right now.
So back to October whitetails, huh?
But he's built that up. Hey, look, when this podcast is number one and it's over Rogan's podcast, and you guys are getting offers to go out to Wyoming and shoot an elk, you're not going to take it. You take it, right?
Well, no, like that's
you have
to. That's a very like hot topic because we've asked people before, like, do you think that you'd be where you are if you wasn't for the channel or for the the podcast, whatever it is, like. And our answer has always been like, no, we wouldn't fucking run out to Illinois. We wouldn't be with XOP. We wouldn't be running all these XOP gear stuff. We wouldn't be running.
In your defense, you built it, right?
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to start a YouTube channel with 10 subscribers. Jimmy and I used to call each other at work, but we just got our 13th subscriber. Like, we're on a roll, dude. Like, we got 5 subscribers a month, and it was a big month. Like, no one remembers when Seek One now has 1 million followers. No one remembers that guy starting out, posting his first video. Maybe his friends making fun of him because it was shitty at first, or it was embarrassing. Like, no one remembers that. Like, no one remembers when you guys had nobody. No one remembers when we had nobody. So once you put in that work to build it up, why shouldn't you enjoy a free hunt?
Well, like that's like I was actually thinking about this. I was looking at it today. Like when you guys were all on last, we had like 200 subscribers. Now we have like 655.
Wow!
So it's like
so you've tripled.
It tripled, in the matter of a year and a half, kind of. But like it's still a slow, methodical thing. Like, and now I'm going to be filming hunts this year, so it's going to be a lot more content on the channel, more YouTube videos.
And that's it, dude. You stick with it, like. They always say on YouTube, especially, your first 1,000 subscribers are the hardest. Now, back then, it used to be 1,000 subscribers and you were monetized. Now it's 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours. So we're trying to get to our 4,000 watch hours. But like everyone said, your first 1,000 is the hardest.
What's the one video everyone should go watch? Name one.
It depends if you're a waterfowl guy or a whitetail guy.
Okay, well, name one whitetail one and one waterfowl one.
The waterfowl one's easy.
That's like 10,000 views. It's it's the
5-minute limit.
5-minute limit
on the micro
yeah.
pond.
Okay.
That was last year's, like, late season last year. Crushed it. That video gets views every day. It keeps going up. That's at, like, 10,000 now, but that consistently we keep getting watch hours from that video. For whitetail,
we only had 2 out last year, so
yeah. For whitetail, it's
either mine or yours.
no, it's your last buck video. It's got like 4,000 views. Well, that's the buck you shot last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a buck we shot on Jim.
Okay.
You can see it in the video. The holes I'm talking about that I create, it's just one hole.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, all right. That's the video. Like, and the video is clear too. That was with your A7, right? You got that on film. Like, the video is super crisp and clear.
Yeah.
But like that was our best video. And now, like, this year, ask us next year what our best videos are. It's going to be from this season because you just get more momentum. Yep. Like, all right, now we have 5,500, 5,000 some subscribers. So now it gets pushed to the algorithm way harder. Yep. And now it gets way, like, the first, like, we posted this video and those 2 days ago, and it's already over 1,000 views. Yep. Like, back then, like, last year, we would have been pumped to have that. Like, we would have been like, oh my gosh, now we're like, it's good, but like, it takes a while to get 1,000 views on consistently on every video. Next year, maybe the goal is 5,000 views every video, 10,000 views.
Our videos are just getting better.
The quality, his editing, like the thumbnail, dude. Who would have thought? Like, the thumbnails huge. Work. Like,
thumbnails very huge.
The title is huge. What do you tag in the videos? Like, it's all a game, and like, you start figuring out the more consistency is key. Every YouTuber will ever tell you it's consistency. But for what we do, like you and I, what do you put up in the summertime? Like, so we're not doing a podcast. We can't interview people. So it's like, we're sitting here in the summertime, like, do we post another scouting video? Do we, you know what I mean? It's like, now we're to the point where.
Shorts. Honestly, just shorts is all you do.
And we like what we're putting out now. Like, we won't put it out if we think it sucks. So it's like, well, do we really want to put out a scouting video that, like, doesn't have anything exciting? You know what I mean? Like,
and that's huge because I think people will just post things to post things. And I got into that for like a little bit of time, and I was like...
It's hard not to, right? Because you hear algorithm, pump the algorithm, and you're like...
Post this many reels a week, post this many posts a week. Like, I was like, fuck, this is like a lot of work to do this seriously. Like, I was like, I don't even like this shit.
And you want it to be quality. Like, you want it to be like something you're proud of, too. Yeah. So, like, we've had a couple hunts where we're like, it just doesn't make it. Yep. Like, we go out, we do fishing videos, too. We'll go out, we'll catch like 3 or 4 nice bass, and it's like, you know what, that wasn't it. There wasn't enough content. Like, we'll even say, like, if we don't catch any more today, then it's just not a video. That's the other thing that nobody realizes about filming. Like, we do a lot of filming that never turns into videos. Oh, a ton. Like, we clear SD cards, and it's like, all right, here's a nice bass, but cut these. We didn't get enough that day. Like, this bird hunt, we only got 4. No one wants to see 4 birds. Like, that's the thing that no one understands. Like, there's a lot for every like hour footage you see. There was 30 hours filmed. You know what I mean? Like, to get to that.
What I'm doing this year is I'm doing 3 films. So one of those films will be entered in like Badlands or a film festival of some kind, right? Like, that's my main goal. Is like, I feel like you have to set those goals for yourself, or else you're not gonna like. You're just kind of selling stagnant.
It's that big. It's that big buck you have on camera.
Well, it's that buck, and also because like we have Ohio planned, we have the rut trip up north, we have then I have rifle. It's like I can have at least 3 films, like from leaving the house to getting back to the house. I can have one film for each time. So like leaving the house, document going up. Document coming back, document everything in between.
If you don't get a buck this year, will you still put videos out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing. Like, everyone says like, there's a buck down. That's the only time they're going to release a video. It's like, or doe or whatever.
Yeah.
I think even those like encounters, like if I have some kind of encounter, like I see a deer off on a distance, all that kind of stuff, like, and then I move to that spot, like I want to document that. I want to document.
Well, do you know who does that very well? Is I don't know if you know, like Meat Eater. I'm sure you know who Meat Eater and Steve Ranella.
No idea.
Well, he's a guy. So he wrote a few books. But like, what I like about his Netflix series is there's a lot, and even his YouTube channel, there's a lot of times where they don't get a deer, they don't get an elk, they don't, and then so when they do get a deer or they do get an elk or they get what they're there, it's almost like more exciting. Like, yes, dude, I've watched 4 videos of you not getting one. Like, I'm pumped for you.
The hunting public does too. Like,
the hunting. We respect the hunting public.
The elk series they're just putting out right now, like from last year. Like they haven't gotten an elk down yet. Well, they got one down. With Aaron's cousin, got one down, and that was spoiler alert. Sorry,
you
didn't watch it. Sorry,
great, thanks.
Sorry. Go give him a view. Yeah, watch it.
But like you release that stuff, like it's a whole progression thing. Like I don't necessarily have to. Like I can make a film out of it, that whole like 3-day weekend type thing, but like I can also release in little bits here.
Well,
and
it's
there.
relatable to the end user, like the person watching it who's going to consume that content. It's relatable. Like most people aren't going to go out there and
I think it's like 25% of people get like a deer,
and that's like that's an insane number when you think about that. And it's like that's like when that 7-pointer walks in front of you and you pass it. It's like, well, 75% of hunters aren't going to get anything at all. So you passed your 7-pointer. That's like where I'm like, dude, this is hard. Where we're hunting at, especially in Pennsylvania, to get a deer, especially with a bow, like the odds are against you every single year. And it's like, now you obsess over it like we do, and you can make a little bit of your own luck, but you're still hunting wild animals, and it's not easy to do. So what are you going to take? And like for you to show that, like it's like Ranella, when they show them not getting it, then when they finally do, and like, as far as like role models for us in the YouTube space, like Hunting Public's our number one, right? Like that's our, we respect Hunting Public, like the way they hunt. They're just normal guys grinding it out, hunting public land, couple of buddies. Like they're not all flashy with their camo. Like look what those guys are wearing for camo. You know what I mean? Like you see them, it's like they rolled out of the Walmart parking lot with a camo outfit. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, go get it done. Like you don't need a $700 jacket. I want the jacket, but you don't need it. Like these guys are just normal dudes going
Ryan
out
can
there.
afford the jacket. Everyone. He can afford the jacket. Yes,
I'm making Jimmy pay me for gas on the way out here, dude. 7 miles from the house.
Only 7.
Yeah, I moved in the last year.
Well, you also got married.
Dude, I'm off a set. Yeah, I'm a married man. Ladies, back up. I know there's a lot of you watching.
There's like 2%
demographic.
Married man, you 2%. Don't even think about it.
Is that a metal ring or is that a rubber?
It's a rub.
Rub?
Always wear a rubber. Oh, yeah, dude. Rub up on that. So I don't know about you, but maybe it's like a newly...
Let's go.
Let's go. I don't know if it's like being newly married, but I find myself like twisting it a lot.
Yeah, I still do that. I go like this often, like I like fold it back.
Yeah, I take it off, I fold it all up like origami. Yeah. And I buy like Amazon.
Mine broke. I don't even have one on.
Oh,
I'm married.
You dog, Ethan. Look at you, dude. You probably have to beat the women off you with a stick without a ring on, dude.
You bad boy.
I make sure.
Pulls up the Subaru and the music blasting. Like, jeez,
the shades on the Oakley.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
What was with the chick in the side seat too?
We don't talk about it.
Yeah. Cut.
Yeah,
Ethan's clapping on that.
Yeah, I'll cut that one out.
But yeah, so that like, I find myself like like if I'm working on something or I lose them all the time. Like I'll look down and be like, oh, that. So I bought like a 12-pack.
Like mine get like thick.
Yeah.
Like they get loose and I'm like they start like falling off. Like when I have my hand out the truck window, like all of a sudden like my ring will start like sliding down.
Yep.
Like oh shit, now I gotta replace it with another one I have in there.
So you get a bunch of them too. Yeah. I got them on Amazon. You're not married, dog. Maybe someday.
Maybe
there might be a very lucky lady for you.
Maybe the one you. So let's end this podcast by giving the listeners some of the biggest tips you guys could have for like whitetails, and since we primarily focus on waterfowl on this one, which we have never done a waterfowl one.
No, dude, not to that extent.
I got an amazing idea.
Yeah.
Was it possible to get this podcast set up mobile?
We've done mobile, yeah.
Could we get you guys in a waterfowl blind?
Dude,
we're in an A-frame, right? So we're in a tent. You're not layout.
So here's the thing. I will 100% film everything. Like I'll let Jimmy shoot. I'll film. I have a 4K camera. It's okay, Jimmy. Like it might not be up to your par.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. Jimmy's like, well,
I have a GoPro 10 as well.
He's particular.
We'll have multiple GoPros going.
That would be fun.
If Jimmy wants to film too, he can film. You know, what the hell?
We got to get you guys. Ethan, do you have any interest in waterfowl?
You ask, I will not say no.
So you'll come with? Yeah. We should do a podcast in the blind.
Yeah, we can
Maybe we'll get you boys. You get nipped by the bug, man. It's addicting. We'll wait till we get a guaranteed hunt where we know birds are hitting that. Because waterfowl's about you want to be in the field where the birds are the day before.
Yep.
So we'll get on the X. They call that the X. We'll get on the X and we'll bring you guys with. I think that'd be sick to do a waterfowl. Just the 4 of us in a blind.
Yep.
So we'll get you there. But sorry, go ahead. I cut you off.
No. So what's the biggest tips for whitetail in the early season for you guys? What are you guys, looking for, setups, all that kind of stuff, and then we'll dive into the waterfowl stuff too for biggest tip for that stuff to get access to property as well. So let's go back into your public land because we're primarily focused on public land because, well, Ethan has some private, 20 acres that Ryan hates.
I mean, for early October, obviously your acorns. I've noticed this year in the woods that some are already dropping. Acorns.
Freshly cut corn. I hate to say that.
In piles, preferably.
Yeah. Nice
I've been, like the last probably 2 years, I've been having a lot of spots with like a lot of natural browse.
Okay.
I think that's.
Are we talking like briar patches type stuff?
That and like
1,000 mile.
just
What's that stuff called?
Mile a minute?
You like mile a minute, yeah.
No.
You like that stuff.
No.
That damn weed.
Yeah. They eat that shit, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny Jimmy says that because, like, you would see a good food source, like a cornfield or something, but then, like, you watch a deer for 45 minutes just browsing.
Well, like,
I'm talking about, like, overgrown fields.
There's, like, a secondary food source and a primary. So, like, a primary is that food, is that corn or field, whatever is in there. But then secondary is that acorn or browse.
Right.
And that's what they're going to hit right after their bedding. So, like, they're hitting that before they get to the primary. So, it's kind of fucked up. Like, you have the secondary first. They hit the secondary first before
they come to the
first.
primary.
Yeah,
well, like Jimmy
appetizer.
said, for the overgrown field, it's like you watch these deer in fields. Like, is there clover in here? And you walk through, there's no clover. They're just browsing.
Yeah,
like, they're just eating their natural browse, which is like where you were just hunting in Maryland. There's a beautiful soybean field out there, and Jimmy said the deer walked right through it. They never stopped to eat it. Like,
they might have took 2 bites and just kept on going.
Which is like to us is incredible, right? Like that's like going to the Golden Corral. Not there anymore, but you don't know what the Golden Corral is?
Yeah, I know what the Golden. What were you?
But that's like having the Golden Corral right there, and then you going to like pick up a cookie off the street. You know, to me, like you have all those soybeans right there, dear.
Okay, I was gonna say Golden Corral's like the best thing I would like say is like soybeans.
Yeah, but like to a deer, like I see the soybeans and I'm like, I'm eating that if I'm a deer. And we've watched plenty of deer spend hours in soybeans. In Maryland, where he was hunting, they weren't interested. They walked right through.
Do you think that more like brown soybeans is kind of like?
Well,
what they prefer?
Maryland's complete. Like where I'm hunting at in Maryland is night and day from PA. You can't hunt your deer the same way.
Yeah.
Like it's just big farms down there.
Okay.
Which is crazy because we're
like massive
2 hours
farms.
away.
Yeah.
But for a tip for me, I'd say is like time and consistency. Like you got to get in there and don't be afraid to move. Keep following the deer and be like, you might not get a shot at the deer that day, but you'll learn something. Like every time you go in and out of the woods, you should learn something. Like, like predominant wind direction. Like Jimmy's been big on teaching me like, well, this property, the wind's always coming like northeast. So set your stands accordingly. Like take note on those little details. Cause if the deer's downwind you, I don't care what you did, you're not getting the deer.
It's also knowing where your buck's most likely bedding.
Yeah. And that comes from just being out in the woods. See them, watch them. We'll see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
Like what we're going to do in Tioga. We're going to sit up there.
Gosh damn.
He just talks so damn much, man.
What we're gonna do in our spot this year,
it's gonna be the hardest one to edit.
It really will. Is we're gonna hunt like pretty safe and just see where the deer are going. Like we might not get a deer there this year.
Yeah.
And like we're both okay with that, but we're gonna learn a hell of
but
a
you
lot.
get a doe at least, right?
Oh,
like that's like
we're getting a buck.
yeah.
We're
probably gonna get a buck. But like
tires
is.
I think he could shoot tires opening day.
I'm gonna literally
Daddy, if I shoot tires opening day, boys. If I shoot, we're going to bring him in here.
I mean,
Please do.
We're going to do emergency podcast if tires is down, dude.
Yes.
We're going to have our buddy Braxton Euro mount him for the podcast. Dude. Come in with him.
Hell yeah.
Tires has been working that saddle all summer. He likes coming off this saddle.
Ooh,
Jimmy's got him figured out,
there.
dude. He's got him.
I've been there. Yeah, I've been
He
up
must
there
be betting so close.
Yeah, he's betting pretty close. I've been up there 4 times now, and I have roughly an idea of how they're moving from property to property.
Okay.
So
they're taking that saddle, like that primary saddle, like the easiest access, pretty much.
So
are they crossing like? Because I always got like saddles, like so they obviously have that.
This
that
saddle
flat
has
part.
a field off to the left of it.
Okay.
So like they're coming from that saddle from the surrounding properties.
Okay.
They're coming up to the saddle and coming out of
Okay.
the corner into the field.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is like, which is going to be ideal. So we're going to hunt that field and we're going to watch the deer.
That's where I set his stand for this year. I think he'll come right out.
I had to have Donnie set to be completely honest, I haven't even been to the property, so.
You don't even know where it's at.
Well, I remember from last
time. I had my bitch go set my stand.
I remember from last episode is like, you don't really get into like hunting until like it's almost time, right? Like September timeframe is when you start getting into it.
You know why? Because like I've been burned by like the summer deer, summer patterns, like putting a ton of time into scouting just for those deer to disappear. So like this year I started running cameras like July. I started putting my cell cams out,
which is a good time frame.
Like I'm really focusing on my property in 5C because it opens early. So like I have probably 5 cameras out there. September 21st. Yeah, so like 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, I'm hunting. Like Jimmy's gonna come up opening day. We're gonna kill at least a doe, hopefully, and do a video on that. But like that's like a lot of my efforts going into that. Cell cams out there, but to me, it's like you could scout all year, but then like that shift happens, and I've been burned so many times. Like I almost don't even want to know until they're like almost fully grown, and now I'm starting to learn what these deer really want to do, because when the sun sets at 9:30, the deer move a little differently than when the sun sets at 7. So it's like I'm getting this buck at 8:15 every night, and
they
then
speed up their process a little bit because
it's just it all changes. So I'm a later, but Jimmy's like, dude, he's obsessed with it. So he'll be running cameras all year. He'll be going out to film them. I mean, the second those antlers start growing, he's out up at Middle Creek.
I'm glad you said antlers also.
Yes,
because a lot of people have been saying horns.
Holy tits! I tell you what, dude, that pisses me off so bad.
Does it? It actually, like, I count myself saying it a little bit, and I'm like, man, why am I saying this?
But a horn doesn't fall off ever, right?
No, it's
like a rhino has a horn, he never loses that. An antler grows.
A horn is
off.
like our fingernails.
Yes, it's collagen or something like.
Them a lot lately.
Well,
what?
The rhinos they've been getting. I said a rhino's horn doesn't fall off, and he's
unless
like,
they've been
poached. You know?
Right.
But yes. It's technically not a horn, right? When everyone's like they're hard horned, I'm like, are they? Or are they hard antlered? Like I don't want to be that guy that comments that on YouTube, but I will start doing that.
I'm just like I've seen people say it on like stories, and I wanted to like post a story of like. Just circle, be like, this is an antler.
Yeah, like
this is an antler right here.
A ram has a horn, right? They never lose them.
Nope.
A rhino has a horn. An elk has an antler. A deer, a whitetail has an antler.
Yep.
Like, so I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah. I it's just easy. People taking the easy way out, and I've seen a lot of. Also, one thing that's also bugging me before we get into the tip for
this
waterfowl.
Podcast is never going to end.
No, these two, man.
We're an hour and a half in right now, and I got to bleep some stuff out. It's all right.
So we're like 45.
Yeah. No, I'm just bleep it out. I don't delete it. That's too much work there. Yeah, a long
whole
bleep.
episode.
What's bothering you? Let's hear this one.
The oh crap, what was it? See, I got off on tangent there, and then all of a sudden I just lost it.
Something's bothering you. It's not the horn. No, it's not people calling horn and antler.
It's shit.
Is it bother you when someone says kill versus harvest? Like I killed that.
No, that doesn't bother me as much anymore. Yeah, because I mean we are technically killing an animal.
Yeah,
so,
I get it too. I try to say harvest, but I do get it both ways.
It's both things. Like I think saying my deer, like that's one thing that irritates me. Like
what about naming deer? Are you okay?
I'm not too against that anymore because like this buck that I have now, I want to name him.
What did you name him?
The King.
Okay. See, okay, I'm not like I'm not gonna throw shade here, but here's
what this way. If I get him. The title of the video will be The King.
Burger King, dude. Oh, dude, if you get him thumbnail, you wearing a Burger King crown holding up that deer.
Yes.
100%, dude.
I'll put the crown over his rack.
Yes.
So no one sees what it actually looks like.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing like that I don't like about naming deer, and we have friends, mutual friends, that name the dumbest names that everybody, like, how many Megatrons are out there right now, or
Now you say
Hightower?
mutual friends.
Like we both know some people that have named like that name like they're the corniest names. And
I don't think I'm associated with those people.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, like Hightower, like the Drurys have a Hightower. Yes. Josh Bomar has a Hightower, and like so do 300 other guys across.
So Ryan likes to name his tires.
I like weird names, like
it's unique.
Like what's another weird name we?
I can't believe you brought up the Bomars.
Oh, dude, that's a whole nother thing. He's doing broadheads now. The Beast. God.
And like everyone's pushing him because he's just sending to people. It's like push him, and I'm like, dude, this guy's a known poacher. Why are you doing this?
He got caught like turkeys, right? He got caught
and deer.
Turkeys, yeah. Well, he stabbed I guess not stabbed, but he speared a whitetail. Like, and that was a big deal. Or a bear. I think he speared a bear. That was a big deal.
Dude,
Under Armour dropped him.
Why are we pushing these people?
Yeah, I mean, like the one thing I
don't want to keep dragging a podcast on. My God, why are we?
The one thing I respect about him is he did kill a 200-inch deer on 5 acres.
Oh, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, well, if I got a 200-inch, that's my king. Listen, you and King. No, King's not bad, but if you ever name a deer Hightower or like Wide 8 or something like that, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? It should be something special to you, like, I don't know, whatever. Like Tires. Jimmy blew his tire going to see that deer. We got that deer on camera. His name's Tires. To avenge Jimmy's tire, I'm going to get that buck.
Yeah, it's that buck's
I'm trying to think of what's like a special moment that happened.
You could name him like Dropsy because of the drop.
That's something else I got.
Ooh, handlebars is incredible.
Yeah, that's the first. That's the first time. God damn it!
Oh, the.
Oh yeah, everybody keeps saying it. Yep. You know,
I might just have to edit this out.
This part's not even going to make it.
I mean, I can't have that.
Okay, we had to bleep something out there, but I'm gonna challenge you. It might not have to be the primary name. I'm gonna need a secondary name for that buck, and it's not gonna be. It might be
bleep.
Something. It might be what Ethan had said. I like.
Okay.
So
Ethan, you end the podcast here and also think of a name.
Okay, we're not even going to do the waterfowl tips.
No, you can still continue. It's your part now. You continue the podcast. I'm trying to think of a name. I'm primarily thinking of a name right now.
There you go.
I cannot think of anything else.
Name him Camo Crew.
Oh, Cruz.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like Paul Cruz.
Yeah,
from
dude.
Longest Yard.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know why. Just
Tom. I was thinking Tom Cruise right away.
Oh, geez, we got a Tom Cruise fan over here.
Mission Impossible.
Dude, he's getting fired up over there talking about Tom Cruise.
I will be wearing a Maverick saddle.
There you go.
There you go, dude. Maverick.
And it's Mission Impossible. Going after this buck.
It is an impossible mission.
I'm in.
Genius. We're in. Done.
So, I'll watch that YouTube video.
There you go.
Twice.
You have the name?
Just name it Tom Cruise.
Name it Tom Cruise.
Tommy Cruise.
Let's go.
Have Tom Cruise holding the rack of the buck.
Dude, TC, Tommy Cruise.
Yeah.
Tommy Bananas.
Pickles.
Tommy Pickles. It's good. I like where you're going.
Ethan, continue.
All right, continue. Okay. Waterfowl. We'll jump onto that one now.
Okay.
Anyone that wants, two people right here that have never waterfowl hunted, whatever, tips that you would give to us first time going out?
Pretty easy. Scouting. Scout the birds. You got to find the birds, you know.
Where they're the field that they're in, that's where they're going to want to go the next day.
You got to scout.
And getting to know somebody that might have a little bit more experience than you, maybe join a Facebook forum or find some guys that are, because the barrier to entry to waterfowl, and I think this is what keeps a lot of guys out, is kind of high. You need a shotgun, which doesn't have to be a crazy expensive shotgun. We shot mediocre shotguns for a while before we bought ours, but you need a blind, you need decoys, and you need to learn to call, which are all like, it adds up in money and it adds up in time. So if you can kind of get a mentor and go out with a couple guys, if you find somebody you can go out with and they kind of show you the ropes, like that's what happened with us. We went out with some guys, we branched out, and now I'm like confident to the point where we can go waterfowl hunt ourselves and do really well. So scouting is huge. Like 2 days before a hunt, we're all driving around trying to find where these birds are up and where they're going down. And then try to find friends that are doing it. Make friends, network yourself, join a Facebook forum, meet some guys that are doing it, and let them kind of guide you through that journey of learning. That was so corny, but
that was That was like the shortest Ryan has ever talked this whole episode. Holy shit! I was like straight to the fucking point.
Like,
when I ask a question, it's like non-stop of like a 20 minutes. Fucking 20
I'm having a beer with everybody.
20 sidebars.
Ethan asks the question. It's like straight to the point. He's staring Ethan in the face the whole time. And it's like
Facebook Marketplace.
Holy shit! Done. All right. Well, on that note, God damn it,
dude. Next time, let's end it like this. Next time we see you, Bleep is gonna be. We'll call him King for now.
Yeah,
you're changing it
for now.
We'll see King.
Right.
We'll be back here. You'll have King. I'll have Tires. We'll Instagram live measure.
Right.
See who's
Instagram
bigger.
live. Well,
we'll show you a picture of Tires after.
Okay. All right.
I think you got mine beat a little bit.
Maybe
just a little,
but not in character. Well, you might in character. I don't want to give anything away.
Anyway, thank you guys for coming in the studio here. Really appreciate it. Where can people follow you and go watch some videos?
Yeah, Drawback Outdoors on YouTube, Drawback Outdoors on Instagram, Jimmers14 on Instagram. Go give the boy a follow.
He loves this. I don't know if he loves the moms anymore, but
we're phasing out of moms for this guy.
Phasing out of moms.
Phasing out.
What are we phasing into?
Relationship, dude. I don't want to say too much.
Was it a TikToker?
Yes.
I was just waiting on pins and needles to see how he was going to answer. Was it a TikToker? I went,
yes.
Great girl. Though.
Is she in TikTok famous?
She's famous. She's got a lot of followers.
Does she have her own podcast?
No.
Oh, good. Okay, God. No. She's not going to release an episode about you after you two break up.
Well, there might be. She might make one if that ever happens. That could be the one. We'll see.
Hey, we'll see. We'll find out next episode. Stay tuned. Anyway, remember to keep hunting.
Keep fishing.
And always
enjoy the freaking process.
Enjoy the freaking process. Cut.